Welcome everybody to the NftyDreams DAO Townhall. Today is a very exciting and special day. We have our advisors joining us on our town hall. This is going to be more business style of a meeting as we talk about everything DAO related with you guys, which we are in the nitty-gritty formulating right now, which is super exciting. So very happy you guys are all here, and I'll go ahead and bring our founder Nick up to talk about some announcements.
Hi, Eddie. How's it going?
Excellent. How are you, Nick?
I'm doing very well this morning. Super excited to be here. I love these town halls. It gives us a chance to sort of connect with our community and give them an update. But I also really love the guests we bring on, and we get to chat with them and learn a little bit more about, different ecosystems. And so that really excites me. So I guess today what I want to do is start off real quick with an update on our drop, and then I have some really exciting news to share. So our drop is proceeding well. We had some initial hiccups because almost 6,000 artists signed up for our pre-mint, but not all of them have minted yet. And on talking to people, it turns out that a lot of people thought that the pre-mint sign up was the mint. So now we are helping people understand that they actually need to go to mint.nftydreams.com, and we'll put that banner up with the link later, so you can do that. But we need people to go there to actually mint so they can get on and become a dreamer. But lots of dreamers out there now, super excited because I see all the tweets, etc., about how excited they are to join. And we talk a little bit about sort of the benefits of the DAO in general. So our mission is to make it possible for every artist in the world to make a sustainable livelihood through their art. Now we realize that's a tall order, but we have to start somewhere, and this is the start. So for the dreamers who have minted, we are not going to wait till October 1 when we actually sort of start the season. We are already starting to show lots of benefits for them. And a huge benefit is coming next week to address what I think is a major pain point. A number of these artists are in a situation here where they find themselves having to learn marketing, sales, social media, etc. And they would rather be just making art, So we're going to get there. We're going to get to the point where they can just be making art, and the DAO takes care of it. But until then, what we want to do is help them, give them that edge. And so I'm very pleased to announce that next week we are going to have a very special, let's call it a boot camp, if you will, for NFT artists to learn marketing skills on how to do it. So we're going to break it down in very simple terms, so you can learn how to best do it. So Rachel Wilkins on our team, our head of marketing, she's going to put together this, and I'm super excited. So this is an exclusive benefit for dreamers, and that I think is going to be super awesome. A few other updates. The guilds are starting to form. We've got the leads all mostly identified. I think there's a couple of co-leads positions still waiting to be filled. But now we are starting to send out some of the agreements for the guild leads. And very shortly, probably starting as early as this weekend, they'll start going through our contributor applicants. And I believe there's over 200 of them at this point to start picking who they want on the teams. So that's kind of a quick update. Still working on the incorporation of the DAO in Singapore, paperwork and stuff like that. Always takes time. So still working on that. I think that's about it for the updates. We've got some exciting other partnerships and things to talk about, but they're still forming. So that might be something that we talk about next week. But the main thing today is our special guests, Eddie, and back to you. I'm just super excited to have them here.
That was awesome, Nick. And yes, very, very excited for all of the fun benefits that we have going on for the artists. So for all of you listening to the broadcast right now, if you grab your Mint Pass, link is in all of our social media bio, just NftyDreams.com. You can get a $1,000 token bonus today. which is amazing. That's a huge amount. It is decreasing every single day. So if you grab it today, you'll get the 1,000 tokens for that. So we have some exciting speakers today on our advisory board. Very grateful and thankful to have you all here. It's awesome to have such an incredible, amazing team at NftyDreams, and just the advisory is on point. So first and foremost, I would like to bring up Yumiko. She is the founder of FTT Vision. I'll let her introduce herself a little bit, but she runs an amazing NFT social media agency. So here we go, Yumiko.
Hi, everybody. So it's me, Yumiko, aka NFT Cheers. So I do own a social media management company in Orange County. Been in the NFTs world since, it pretty much took off, a year and a half ago. And yeah, I represent some of the amazing OGs in the space, such as Sabet and Getways. And I'm really excited to be here and to be a part of NftyDreams. So that's me.
Awesome. And just for time constraints, we will also introduce Tal Navarro at this time. She does have to leave a little bit early. So Tal, you are a very successful business owner running Social Lady, a Web3 marketing advisory as well, and have attained the 40 under 40 in Forbes, which is amazing. So we're so happy to have you here, and I'll go ahead and add you to the stream as well.
Hi.
Hello.
Hi.
Good to see you, everyone. I'm very proud of everything that you are doing, and very, very excited to be part of this. It is a special moment for the Web3 community, I think, and you all doing so many amazing things that I am watching from the side, and I'm pretty proud of you guys. So thanks for having me here.
Great. So we have one more guest, but she has not joined, so I just messaged her, and we'll pop her in when she comes. But maybe we can start, since Tal has a very short amount of time here. I guess Tal, let's start with you. We are very honored to have both of you as advisors in the Advisory Guild. I guess my question is, knowing what you know about what we are doing so far, why did you agree to take on this role?
Look, I am a big advocate for creators, especially those who are working so hard all their lives, creating, magics. Here, look who's here. This is my assistant, my personal assistant.
So cute.
You see? That's big. Hold on a second. Let me trying to multitask here. So for me, being part of what you guys are doing, I'm doing that because at the end of the day, artists are the ones who are going to build everything in Web3. Artists are the ones who are the voice. Oh, thank God I went out. Such a nice day outside. Much better. Now I can actually focus on speaking to you guys. So, yes. Well, the moment that Callie and Nick has approached me, I realized that there is no place where people can actually learn how to execute everything that they have. And a lot of people do want to achieve, do want to succeed and achieve success and accomplishments in the Web3 space. And it is very hard these days because everyone has so many things on their plates. Artists have to, they pay rent, they have to take care of their families, and now they need to know everything when it comes to business. They need to understand how to build a business, maybe to get a team, to create marketing, to do social media, to do copywriting. Creating a Web3 project or art or sell on the Web3, it is a process. It doesn't happen in one day. It doesn't happen in 1 minute. It takes time to build. It takes time to achieve, and you have to look at it as business. And not every artist, not every creator is a business person. And that's okay. That's legit. We're not all business people. So I think that what you guys are doing, creating kind of an incubator or kind of a infrastructure to give those tools to artists and to actually enable them to succeed and grow and to bring them into their front, this is just an amazing thing that you guys are doing. And I am super happy to support as in any way that I could, because I'm a big believer in Web3. I am 100% in Web3. As you know, I shifted my whole life and company and state of mind into Web3. Even I minted a little kid, 3 months old now.
Congrats.
Thank you very much. So yes, I'm multitasking with 2 babies on the back here, not just one, and no school today, so they're both at home. But it was super important for me to come here today and to support you guys and to say that I am a big advocate for what you guys are doing, and I'm really here for you. And I hope every artist will go through your DAO and grow, and we all can grow together this way. So thank you so much for that.
Thank you, Tal. That's amazing. We really appreciate having you. And I know that we can benefit from your skills and your experience and your network and help the DAO grow. I see our third guest is here now. So I'm going to bring Layla on here and have her introduce herself before we go on to you, Yumiko, to answer the same question. Hi, Layla. Welcome.
Hi, Nick. Thank you. Thank you, all of you. Yeah, so for those of you who don't know me, I'm Lila Pinto. And Tal, you just said it so well. I mean, everything you said before me really resonates. So I love what Nick is doing. I love the vision. I mean, I also love the fact that, he's come from the Web 2 space as a super, super successful technology person, business person, and he has the vision to help artists, which really hasn't been done before on this scale, and with the amount of humanity and compassion that he has demonstrated. So I am just in awe to just awe of him and what he's building. And so when he invited me to join, I did say that my biggest limitation is time, because for those of you who know me, so I come from a traditional finance and a traditional art background. So I came kind of the other way. I am an artist and extremely passionate about art and to support other artists and of all kinds, whether it's not just painting, which I'm a painter, but physical art, digital art, sculpture, poetry, music. It's endless, right? So I just think that now that I've come from a traditional sort of very structured world into something that's completely unstructured, I don't know what I'd have done without a business background, to be honest. And so I really have empathy for artists who start out as creatives. I mean, my heart is now that of a painter and a creative. And so I really am seeing this from 2 different lenses, because I feel like I've crossed the physical worlds, both on the traditional finance side. I'm learning about DeFi. It's been a quick learning curve on tech, like whatever I need to know about crypto and tech and the blockchain. And then I've come from the traditional art world, where I have shown my art. In fact, I have 39 paintings in a physical show right now in New York. But I'm also passionate about the opportunities that Web3 brings. So this is what I hope that I can bring to you, sort of share my learnings, and I say it with a lot of compassion and, humanity, because I really see, and I'm originally from India, so I was an immigrant, first generation immigrant. It's very, very hard. As a woman, it's just, but I think at the end of the day, listen, if I can do it, all of you can do it. So I'm here to inspire and just say all of you it's just going to be great. And we have great leadership and everyone else on the team and wonderful artists. So congrats on 6,000 artists. And happy to answer any questions. And then I have to run over to my physical exhibition, but I promised Nick I'd be here. And so really a pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And Yumi, how are you? Tell us why you said yes to being an advisor.
Well, pretty much same as Tal. I mean, Tal said everything so perfectly, but my job and my company is here anyways to help artists, right, in Web3, to manage content, to guide them, to advise them. And at the end of the day, what I noticed with the NFT space and artists was, like, again, like you guys were saying, the lack of structure. They wear so many hats that it's either way they're lost or then they burn out. And so what you're putting together, is mainly to help artists, and especially the ones who, the indigenous, artists, right, who have a hard time, who don't have access, to the NFT space, Web3. So for me, from the heart, people who try to help artists or creators, I'm always here to also be a part of it. And also, I know who's behind the DAO, right? I know the team. And I know that everybody in the team, you really pick the amazing people, I know of Tal. I've met her quickly. I want to meet her, more hopefully in LA. I know Rachel, so we all have our own people, and they are part of this DAO who everybody try to help each other, So that's what I said, yes. And of course, I know Kelly also. So yeah, I'm here to help as much as I can,
That's awesome. Thank you. And speaking of Kelly, let's bring her on here. So Kelly is our head of partnerships, and here you are. Good morning.
I just got caught sneaking.
Yes, you got caught.
I'm like, quick, take a puff before they bring me up. Anyway, I'm busted. I have a nasty little addiction now that I moved to LA, but it's manageable. Hi, baby.
He's so cute.
My little baby. The fresh mint, the one of one.
The fresh mint. What's his name again?
His name is Adam.
Adam. Hi, Adam. Oh.
Adorable.
And Tal, I respect you as like an entrepreneur who shows up to speaking events, to being so active. I mean, I respect you big time. Like
Thank you.
It's not easy. I'm not a mom. I mean, I'm a mom of a 4-legged dog, but really, congratulations with everything you're doing.
Thank you so much. And just saying that, guys, I have to go because I got this guy and the other one here. But I'm super supportive. Anything you need, I'm here. I'm so excited for everything that is going to come. And I think the Web3 space needs you. And it's amazing everything that you are doing. And I'm here to support with whatever I could.
Hal, you're an absolute rock star. Thanks for coming on. With your hands full, you do so much and make us all want to be better women because you're just doing it all. And you have a lot of fans here. We've had quite a few people comment that it's great to see your face. So
thank you. Thank you so much. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye. Say bye-bye.
All right, let's. That was great to hear from Tal and to see her fresh mint there. That was cool. So let's get on with the discussion a little bit. I'd like to move the discussion past the DAO and more into sort of the art ecosystem and the NFT art ecosystem. I'd love to hear your thoughts on what you think are the biggest challenges that artists entering this space now face. So maybe I'll start with you, Yumi, and then to Leila.
I mean, like I think for me, from what I'm seeing and from who I'm managing today, again, the lack of structure, the overwhelm of dealing with so much, right? Trying to learn how to balance wearing so many hats, right? With many artists who came to me to kind of like figure out what I do, how can I help them? When I ask them for example, how many hours do you spend on social media, to talk about what you do, your art, one artist was telling me like 6 hours, 7 hours a day. How do you not burn out, and how can you still create? How can you focus on actually what you're meant to do, art, right? So I think knowing and putting a structure together, I think it's been difficult for artists and promote the art as well. Many artists have a hard time, talk about themselves, showing who they are. So they're working through those. I think that's the main struggle in the space for artists mostly. That's my opinion.
Yeah, And Leila, what about you? What do you say?
Hi, Nick. So I think, on many levels, it's really quite a challenge for artists because artists have to juggle creating the art and then marketing it themselves and then collectors, getting collectors. It's just there's a lot of overwhelm. And I just find I thought it was busy when I was in the physical world. Now I'm busy in the metaverse. So it's like there are these two parallel worlds, and then we have to communicate through social media. So I think, if, and there's no structure, there's no roadmap. Everyone is kind of figuring it out on their own. And the community has been great, but I think it's just, it's not easy for an artist to tackle on their own. So yeah, so that's why I think, Nick, the fact that you've got a structure around this, you're bringing in all these different guilds, people from the tech side, the traditional art gallery side, just helping artists manage all of this. And then eventually I think this is going to change into something else that I think you can share with us, right? Like where you want envision taking this, your vision.
Yeah, and I know you have to go,
Yeah.
so I wanted to get one question in there. Well, you and I were talking a couple of days ago, or was it yesterday? Time flies, so I don't. You made a very interesting observation that I think is important for people to hear. One of the things that we are doing with the DAO is being very realistic with artists and being very straight up and not sugarcoating things. And you talked a little bit about mastery of the art and about new artists coming in and their expectations. Expound on that a little bit, because I think you had a very interesting point.
So I think that there's two things. What I've seen in the Web3 space is that there's a lot of artists, and I think the collectors, and while artists have been supporting artists, like in the real world, one really needs to see more collectors. And so I think, I have very realistic expectations. I came in just saying, listen, even though I was successful in the real world, I came in literally on the ground floor. I came in with no expectations. And I came in a year ago, which was still late, but now we've already seen the cycle. So I think for artists, just having a very realistic perspective, especially in this environment, in a bear market, just to say, hey, listen, we're in this for the long haul. There's going to be ups and downs, and we have to differentiate ourselves, our product, and really, it's not easy. And so for some people, like I already have a quote unquote day job, even though I'm working on my art full time. So I'm just at this like almost 24/7. But I think that it's fine for artists who want to have something on the side to supplement their income. I think that actually will help because then they're coming into this space from a position of abundance, not from a position of scarcity. And then when you have that sort of that feeling of abundance, that you've got so much going for you, you've got different options, you've got this job, you've got the art, one feeds of the other. They don't have to take away, they can all be symbiotic. But I think almost on a spiritual level, I think the more we put into it and the more we diversify our own practice and make really our artistic earnings less dependent on the next sale, I think the better we can become as creatives and artists, because otherwise it's just too stressful and then with crypto and all of that. So I don't know if I'm expressing it that well, but I just want to share that we each need to traverse this path based on our own journey, where we are. Do not compare yourself. Nick, this is one other thing. I've said this,
Yeah.
I'm not in Twitter spaces a lot, but the few times I'm there and they ask me like, what is the one piece of advice you can give to artists? I say, do not compare yourself to anyone else, because that's just a recipe for disaster, whether it's in any field. So just really follow your own path, your own journey. Just do the best you can and don't even worry about the externals. They'll take care of themselves. So
That's just excellent advice, and I want to get Yumi's take on that also. But before that, I do want to you made this excellent point about like maybe have a side income or something like that. And ironically, our mission is to make it so you can focus on the art and not have that. But we have to be realistic. And I tell artists right now, think of yourself as an innovator. You are early in this space. Just focus on the innovation, focus on meeting amazing people, growing your skills, growing your network, and don't look at this as your primary income right now as NFTs, because you're going to set yourself up for failure. Like rely on whatever you did before, and ease into this. And we are there to help, but we are not miracle workers. We can't change the market overnight, right? So yeah, Yumi, what's your take on this?
No, I love it, and it's true. I think from the artists that I've talked to, that I've met, through events, their goal, it's good to have this goal to jump in and be a full-time artist, and quit their day job. But I tell them the same thing. I said, take your time. The NFT space is not going to disappear. Keep your day job. Keep doing your side hustle with art, but at least you have less stress. Exactly like you're talking about. But I feel like because in this space, looking at what others, like someone might say, oh, I quit my job and I'm full-time Web3, artist. And I think when people start seeing those tweets left and right, it kind of gets you in your brain psychologically, right? Yeah. And then you want to be the next person to do it. And that's when, when Leila said, don't compare yourself. Everybody has a different journey. Every artist is different. We all have different stories. So an advice is really, make relationships, everything, but focus on you. Don't, it's like the horses, when they're in competition, they have those things right here so they don't look left and right.
The blinders, yeah.
They're done,
Blinders.
Yeah. My background was former tennis pro, right? And every time I was on the court, it was very focused. I don't look at my teammate over there who is competing against, I have to stay focused, otherwise it's very hard to do what you're supposed to do, have unrealistic goals sometimes as well. But take your time. We're here for a very, very long time, and especially with this DAO. So
yeah, look at the quote there by Cher Mehta. It kind of just resonates exactly what we're talking about here.
Yeah.
Right?
That's exactly what I wanted to highlight. I'm so glad you brought it up, Nick, because I think that's the balance we also need to find in this space, is that these platforms like social media, Twitter, is very addictive. Yes. So finding the balance between networking, socializing, but also focusing on your art and staying true to why you're here is really important. I actually had to get banned from Twitter for a month to realize that and to actually work. Yeah, I was really unhappy at first because I was like, I can't talk to my people. I'm disconnected from my community. But it's also important to make sure that you're still focusing on your art and why you're in the space and not just in Twitter spaces.
And honestly, I think that's also why we are starting to have more conversation about, mental health in the space, right? I was
just going to say, yeah.
Mm-hmm. It's very important because especially when, the bear market started hitting, if you were seeing a lot of people depressed, artists who left, artists who are so down, and when you see all those tweets, you start seeing that mental health needs to be more addressed in this space. I was not an NFT social media management agency before, right? And seeing from the non-Web3 world and the Web3 world today with the artists, it's nonstop in this space, right? Yeah. And we're not robots, right? I mean, we act like robots when you jump in and you have to be active and consistent, and not everybody can afford to have a support system, right? That's why the DAO is amazing, because that's going to help so many artists. But learning that no matter what, remember, health is number one. You cannot create without health. Right. If you're not healthy, you're not going to go very far. So it's hard to do it because you see everybody and you're on it and you're addicted. But remember, take a little breath and think about, make a little plan. Maybe I need to spend only 2 hours this morning, 1 hour here and 1 hour there. Plan those things. But yeah.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. So, and I think that was one of the reasons why because I found that spending time on social media was too much. I'm actually thinking of getting like a social media manager to help me, because Twitter was the one that had to go. So I'm on other platforms, but I just couldn't do it all. So I said, you know what? I'm just going to be off Twitter if I'm not there. And I think it's really important. I almost don't call it mental health for me. It's more time management. I know what my limits are. And, I'm already stretched to my limits. So what I do is all of us should do this. Take care of yourselves, take care of your health, physical, mental, eat well, sleep well, go get some exercise, spend time outdoors. This sounds like really basic, but turn off your phones, turn off your computers. And just, the summer here, I know in other parts of the world, it could be hot, or it's winter in the Southern Hemisphere, but just spend time, outdoors just for yourself, because you'll come back really refreshed. And I'll give you a 30-second thing. Like, I got invited to join Super Rare a month and a half ago, but I just didn't have the time to do it because I had this physical exhibition. And people would tell me, oh, Lila, you should start minting. I only got around to it today. And that's okay. So my point is that sometimes you just do things sequentially and do them thoughtfully and well, rather than try and just do everything. It's just going to be overwhelming. So just manage your time, manage your sleep, take care of yourselves, your health, and your family, and everything else will just fall into place.
Agreed.
This is excellent advice. Really, really good advice. I'd like to switch gears a little bit now and talk a little bit about where things are headed in the NFT art space. Project for us, if you will, based on your vantage point, where things are going. Where do you see it like a year from now? I wouldn't ask you to go 2 years, because this is it changes so much, but maybe a year. Like, tell us.
Can I just go first, because I have to leave?
Yeah.
So it's very interesting that you asked this, Nick, because prior to like May of this year, when we were sort of in I shouldn't say lockdown, but the art scene hadn't exploded the way it has over the summertime in the US, the physical art scene. So I thought that the traditional art collectors would be on board with NFTs, and they'd be much further along than they are. So now that I've spent the last 2 or 3 months since May of this year, literally talking to people physically, starting with NFT Miami, I went to NFT NYC, meeting with collectors, with investors of all stripes, I find that the tech people, the NFT people have kind of pulled back a little bit, the rawness. But what's interesting is the traditional art world and the adoption, right? The mass adoption that I think was happening in the first 6 months of the year when the crypto winter happened, that has kind of slowed down. So I think a lot of what I see 1 year from now will depend on what's going on in the financial markets. I think the Federal Reserve, the Fed raising interest rates, people thought that the financial markets and crypto were diverse, they were divergent, or they were crypto was a hedge for equities and bonds. Again, this is not financial advice. I'm just saying that when we saw what happened in the financial markets, it reverberated, and then what happened in DeFi space, the collapse with the stable coins, I think that has honestly going to push massive Web3 adoption just a little bit further down. I'm not being bearish. I think I'm being really realistic. And so it's just going to take a little bit more time. I thought we'd be there by now, just in terms of further along. And so I think patience is the key. I don't have a crystal ball, but I just say, everyone, hedge your bets, just plan for the best, but prepare for the worst. And then that way you're in a good spot for yourselves, right? Because we cannot control what's going to happen in the market. But I just wanted to bring sort of what's going on in the financial world. And then, of course, there was the tragic Ukraine war. There's a lot of global things that are happening. And I think a lot of people in the Web3 space, maybe more sort of focused on this, but all of these global events they're all going on. And we have to look at the whole picture when we consider kind of the whole universe of adoption and the curve and what's bringing collectors. I mean, with interest rates higher, collectors, even very wealthy ones, are probably going to look at their portfolios and say, hey, maybe we have less disposable income to spend on luxury goods, even really wealthy people. So I just want to say that, I've always been kind of I shouldn't say cautious, but in my own sort of, I've tended to be a little bit more careful. And so I just say, pragmatic. Pragmatic is the word, right, Nick?
Yeah.
So that's it. I just want to say I'm very excited for the future, but I'm also pragmatic that there are things that happen in the real world that will impact us. So
Yeah.
have good leadership and lots of love to you guys. Big hug to everyone.
Thank you, Layla.
Thank you, Layla. Thank you so
Big
much.
hug. Bye, everyone. Thank you for having me up, and thrilled to be here.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye, Layla.
Bye, Layla.
All right,
Yeah,
over
wow.
to you, Yumi. So what do you
Very-
think? We have the
very
crystal
interesting.
ball.
The crystal ball. So I mean, I agree with Layla, but I also think that in a year from now, we're gonna have more people educated about NFTs, right? You have today some artists, who do physical art, right? Not NFTs. We're still kind of like not educated, still a little bit pushing. They know about it, but they're scared. What they see, crypto, the market. But I believe that by next year, we'll still have more people joining and really getting more educated people around the world about NFTs. I think that's where we're heading. But as far as the art itself, I don't know if you guys notice, or maybe that's my algorithm with my own Twitter. But as far as the art, I see a lot of more artists today who are streaming with the AI art.
I knew you were going to say that.
Yeah.
I knew that was coming.
I don't know if it's just me, but I notice a lot of I feel like on my feed there's more like people practicing their AI's art right now. So I don't know if it's the evolvement, how it's gonna happen. But I would love to what you, Nick, and Kelly and Addie think of that.
Yeah. So, I recently got into just during a Twitter space, someone walked me through the AI art and I started creating my first things. And I see that, the technology has a lot of potential, but I don't think it's going to displace our artists anytime soon, much in the same way that computers haven't made, all kinds of things obsolete yet. So I think it forms sort of a good basis for getting started, and also gives you inspiration. I think artists that use the AI for that are going to be very successful. But I think artists who primarily only think AI and then manipulate it, etc., they're going to face very stiff competition because 10,000 other people, 100,000 other people have the exact same idea. So it's going to be a commodity at that point. So if you want to, have true one-of-one art, I think you should use the AI for inspiration, and because it goes where perhaps our minds can't, because of our constraints. And that's where you can open up more possibilities for creating amazing art. So that's what I think.
Yeah, love it. And what do you think for you for in a year? What do you, Kelly and Nick, think where we're going or heading?
I agree with Layla that people are going to get more educated, and I wish I was more educating the space before I dove in head first and lost my entire bag and the bank account it came with to NFTs and crypto. That's why I'm really grateful to be working in the space, because I wanted to support so many people. I wasn't really supporting myself because it just feels like play money sometimes. So education is key. But I think, and also talking about the market and things being down and very volatile, I think I hope that we're going to start focusing more on how amazing this technology is for revolutionizing humanity, not just for the JPEGs that we see, but for rather how the blockchain technology can really help different industries as well as artists like health, travel, insurance, everything like that. I think we're going to start seeing the benefits in a larger scale, and then that will onboard the mass audiences, because we can see how much better it is than the systems we were using. So I'm really excited to see how it's going to change multiple industries. But within art, I'm in the film space. I live in Hollywood. I'm an actor and a filmmaker. So I'm really excited to see NFTs and crypto help fundraise for films, get more people involved in the filmmaking process, get people more, I guess, knowledgeable on how much it takes to create a film or just art in general, how many steps go into it. Because I feel like, and especially through this DAO, we're going to have people from so many different realms start to understand each other a lot more, because we're building a much more cohesive environment for people to communicate and support each other. So I'm really excited to see different platforms merge with AI art. There was somebody in our space yesterday, because I co-host a space with Marianne and Rachel. It's one artist showcase, and we had an AI artist talk about how he actually hires. Sorry, my cat is very active this morning.
Hi,
my little kitten. You can see kind of a big fluffy tail. So he, this AI artist yesterday mentioned, he actually comes from the entertainment industry too, and how he's actually employing actors to play parts in his art as well, even though it is AI. I'm going to investigate further exactly how that works. We're chatting now, but I'm excited to see different industries and types of art merge.
Love it.
Yeah. Kelly, you made some really good points, and I think I agree with you in terms of the future. I see three things. One, because of the bear market, all the riffraff is gone. So I see the builders and true believers sticking around, and that's good. But the market will move up again, and the riffraff will be back. So we have, but meanwhile, we'll have made progress. So we'll have created a better foundation for Web3, especially with NFT art. So that's the first thing. The second thing is, I think a lot of artists will start to accept reality that one-of-one art and marketplace is not the only game in town. It is saturated, it is plateauing, and artists will start to look elsewhere also to monetize their art. And I think that is the great unlock of NFT art in Web3. And like you were saying, we already know that people don't just enter into crypto like mainstream for the sake of crypto. There needs to be some compelling reason that's tied to it that brings them along. And I think that's going to happen with NFT art also. And I think it's incumbent upon us to do some of that, where we work with retail partners, etc., and start bringing more avenues of monetization for artists, because we need them to look past this marketplace thing. Because how many years have we had art around and have had collectors? The mainstream has not become art collectors en masse. First of all, because you need to be wealthy for that. But even then, it's about interest, right? Like, how many people are truly interested in one-of-one collectible art? And just because we put it on an NFT, will we miraculously make them art collectors? No, right? So there's a finite number of people who are going to be art collectors. And what we need to do is go beyond that and expand the market if the artists here are going to find success. So yeah, I think that's what's going to happen.
I want to hear from Addie, but before we go over there, I want to just add to what you said, Nick. It is so important for us to realize that it is more than just the pieces of art we're selling, and that's why DAO minds together to start thinking and talking about these things. And that's why I'm really excited about NftyDreams, because we have so many different projects that expand upon that. We have Diverge sneakers, so we can get artists work onto a pair of sneakers. So we're including fashion. We have Grand Chaco, which is a philanthropic aspect that we're working on. It's a project down in Latin America that's helping villages and underserved communities get access to Wi-Fi, like what Nick did in Paraguay already, and get them onboarded with NFTs, because their market of selling art and jewelry is very limited when you have a global pandemic that limits tourism. Then we have, the Bored Ape Culture Club, which is utilizing a already existing, very successful NFT project, but expanding it to be more accessible to people who can't afford a Bored Ape. So there's a lot of different projects we're working on that helps expand this concept of NFTs without just focusing on selling a one-of-one piece of art, which, like Nick said, can become limiting.
Yeah, absolutely. And I completely agree with both of you. It's been fascinating to see just how the trend of NFTs and the renaissance of NFTs has had a play in our culture now. Like you're saying, Kelly, there's the Bored Ape Yacht Club restaurant, and it's just finding its way and weaseling its way into like a lot of different spheres where it's becoming a lot more normalized. And I know for me, like being in this space for about a year now, I was kind of grateful for the bear market just to see everybody's true colors. And
Yes.
I don't know, it just like you have to test your character a little bit every once in a while. You have to like see who actually has the right intentions. And me personally, I feel like I've seen the utility of NFTs from pretty much the beginning, how they're going to influence all kinds of industries and all kinds of business avenues. Because, you know, I don't know what exactly will happen with AI art, but I could foresee companies that need to make NFTs but aren't artists using AI art to, you know, make their NFTs to then sell their yachts, sell their real estate, sell whatever. And I know people already doing this. I know people already working on this. So I could foresee it just kind of niching down. Everything is going to keep niching down, and it'll just become, from what I think, like just a more normalized way of doing business and having transparency in business. And for the art side of things, I know one time I was in a random Twitter space and I met the mayor of Reno, Nevada, and she was like, I'm on the board with all of the mayors, and like I'm trying to get NFT artists to like display their art culturally in every city and stuff. And so I know there's people like just like us already so passionate and so excited for the art side of things. So I just am very confident that like every city will have NFT art exhibits, and that will be just like the art side of it. And then there'll also be like the whole other business side, and then like social influence just in what's trending. And then with DAOs are, you know, kind of like the new trend, right? Like NFTs were the trend of 2021. Now DAOs is trend of 2022 almost. Or that's not like my opinion, actually. That's I met the advisor for H&M, the Web3 advisor, and H&M was like, which by the way, H&M, if this isn't true, like just let us know. But from what I heard from this guy, like he was saying H&M wants to make a DAO, and like now these big companies that were like, let's make an NFT collection, they're now like, let's make a DAO, because people that understand what a DAO is trust them.
Mm-hmm.
And what are companies always trying to do? They're trying to get us to trust them.
Yep, that's the main goal, is trust them, you know. But I agree. I think you know, big companies, big brands, they are all starting to have Web3 departments, you know. So I think I'm really excited to see how businesses are going to incorporate NFTs, you know, those big brands that we're seeing already, obviously. For me, I am fascinated because there's so much creativity, so much opportunities to tie technology, art, business together. So I don't know. I think that's why we're all here today, is you know, to help artists and see how everything is evolving. And you know, we are not a magician, right? We cannot exactly tell the future, but we're seeing how everything is kind of moving forward, you know. So yeah, I mean, really, this is a new world, you know. A year ago, it's still new, and we're all, I think, we're all learning every day. You go in a Twitter space, you're part of a DAO. You learn from Nick, you learn from Kelly, Addie, Yumi. I mean, and I think that's the beauty of it, you know, and community and helping, and I don't know, it's very refreshing. So really excited.
I also want to throw this out there. Maybe it could be a challenge, Nick, to really push our artists to think what they can do with their art, expanding upon just the print or the digital image. Addie, you were giving me some ideas with, you know, the Bored Ape restaurants that are coming out. Maybe because I have heard of a coffee company, and this coffee company that's Web3 based partners with different NFT collections to have their own version this month. So it'll be the Desperate Eight Wives this month, you know, and then it'll be a different.
Wow.
So you're not only introducing your product to multiple communities, but you're also getting NFT art.
I got a pack, Kelly. Bored Ape Coffee Club. I got a pack.
Oh,
Bored
amazing!
Ape Coffee Club.
Oh my
Yeah.
God, it's brilliant. So
Yeah.
like food packaging, because you know, with branding, with different food, you know, companies are always looking for interesting ways to get out there and to stand out off the shelves. So maybe we could do some sort of challenge where we ask our artists, like, if you were to have your own, you know, line of food, what would your packaging look like? You know, stuff like that. Really expand the minds of our artists, because this space, we have such an exciting group of people from finance, from branding, marketing, social media, art, entrepreneurs, founders. So let's put all those minds together and see what we can come up with, because we're empowering artists to expand upon what they already do, because now anything's possible.
Yeah, I think the comment there by Floyd, I think the gaming industry is going to be huge using NFTs is right on. I mean, like in fact, one of the other advisors that we talked about with a couple of weeks ago, Kunal Kapoor, he's a Bollywood actor. He has a project called Love a Bot, which is essentially a game. It's about a futuristic Indian lore. And we're going to partner to get our artists create art for these robots that are in the game, you know? So yeah, that's just one area. And there's Bored Ape Chai Club. I like that. I'm on that right away.
Instead of a coffee brand, Nick, we should do a chai.
I'm down. I mean, you know, we're all, I think, coffee drinkers in space, you know? So here's to that.
Sunflower burritos at the Bored Ape Chai Club.
People are giving you a hard time, Nick.
That's fine. I don't mind. It's all good. This is I will take that because it builds community. So I'm happily be the person who is joked about, as long as everyone does it all together. Cool. I think we should take some questions if there are any. Have you seen any questions from the audience here yet?
Yes, we do have one right here from Floyd. He said you answered it a little bit, but just if you wanted to touch on it anymore.
So if I may, I think economics is at play here. Demand and supply, lots of art and few collectors. Would there be a way to attract or expand the collectors base for NFT that can be done practically? Yeah, what a wonderful question. Yeah, I mean, for anyone who is not lost in the space and who just steps up a little bit and looks, you can see this massive amount of supply and very small amount of demand. And that's not a problem that we can fix very easily, because it requires people to part with their money. And we can't just say, hey, come and part with your money. Please come here and part with your money. You can't, like, the marketing for that is a very high bar, right? So I think the way we can do that, though, is at least start educating more mainstream users about the value of NFT art and disabuse them of the notion that the media has promoted that these are just JPEGs. So I think we need to start there. And so education is there, and really countering that narrative. So that requires a PR offensive, and we are prepared to do that. We are prepared to make that PR offensive and start getting that. So I think that's the first step. What do you think, Dune?
Exactly what you said, and I'll give you an example. I met a gallery owner from Laguna Beach. I'm in Orange County. She's known. She's into NFT. She knows crypto, but her gallery is for now physical, and she has some events to educate people and art collectors from the real the physical world about NFTs. And she's like, Yumi, it's crazy. I have art collectors here who have money. They have the money, but they don't know the value of an NFT, right? So she said the number one thing is education. They tell her, why would I spend, let's say, I don't know, $20,000 on an NFT compared to a $20,000 physical to put in their home that they have been used to, being, those type of collectors, right? And she's like, and that's why actually, and I have to talk to Kelly, we're going to put an event together called NFT OC for one evening, And we're gonna have Sabbath as a speaker, probably Gabe, Taylor, I'll talk to Kelly as well if she's interested, but because she is gonna bring her art collectors, right? Her artists as well, and truly go down, what is an NFT? Go from the steps number one. What is an NFT? Why, what is, it's not just a JPEG. What are the utility? So all these things, right? So it's gonna take some time, like you said, right? Because people's money and we need to educate them, but yeah, that's where we're at right now. And I'm really excited for this NFT OC for that evening, because we have many art collectors in Orange County, but they're like, what's the point of spending money on an NFT?
Yumi, you are brilliant, because as soon as you started to talk, I was thinking we need more events. We need more in real life events to onboard people by educating them, with having a speaker come in front of them and telling them the benefits. And Nick, something you said about the supply and demand makes me think, well, we need to be providing value to people. So maybe they don't appreciate art. Maybe they will appreciate the art if it comes with a physical asset. To me, maybe clothing, the food brand, like we mentioned, something practical where people can see the asset that comes with the NFT, with the digital art, something physical. And I mentioned to somebody during NFT LA, I think it was, it's Becky Bitch, if you know her on Twitter. She's an amazing community lead. And I mentioned to her that we're stepping into the era of the individual brand. So the benefit of somebody investing into a individual artist in the NFT space is banking on that they're going to be successful. That's why you're essentially investing in them by purchasing their art. So I think we're going to see a lot of shifts from, and I've talked to somebody about this as well that's in the NFT music space. We even have huge artists and musicians who have massive followings on Instagram, but they can't do anything with that other than post. You might have millions of followers on Instagram, but if your Instagram account gets hacked, it's gone. How are you going to mobilize your millions of followers? By sending a post? They may not see it. So it's getting, and I actually learned this the hard way through Clubhouse, because I grew 6 months on Clubhouse faster than I did 14 years on Instagram. I finally found my lane. If you know, like Clubhouse, if you found your lane in Clubhouse, you just blew up. Yeah. But when Clubhouse kind of died down, all my followers, I couldn't do anything with them because they live on Clubhouse. So it's really building your fan base and your audience to go with you in every realm that you're going to. I haven't figured that out yet, but that's food for thought.
But also that's why you should always have an email list to keep, because let's say Instagram, when Instagram goes down for a day, I mean, like, people don't know what to do with their life. You don't know how to be in touch. But if you start building the email list, you'll still have them, you still have contact with them through emails, right? So that's one thing, it's very important to always secure your followers and bring them everywhere you can. But, the email is very important.
And you'll know this because Sabette does it very well.
Yeah, Sabette does it very well.
Yumi works.
Yeah. And, actually, it really helps him with his marketing and sales. It doesn't take so long. You put a template together, and when you have a drop, you let people know in advance. And it's in this world, focus where your collectors are. Yes, but repurpose your content, right, as well. You can, use this video on TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, and emails, whatever. So, but yeah, that's a different discussion with this. But
no, it's great because our artists need to know this, and this is why DAOs are so important, to have these kind of conversations, bringing in marketing advice, because our artists don't always know the right ways to, to run their business, because we're just told to, that artists just stay in, one area. But yeah, that email that Sabette sends out, that I'm sure you have a lot to do with, actually encouraged me to purchase one of his NFTs, because I follow a lot of people on Twitter and I won't always see his posts. Even when you get notifications from people that you follow, sometimes it gets lost in that feed. So because I saw his email and I saw how affordable his NFT was through the email. That's how I purchased it. So that's actually given me an idea that I used to have a yearly newsletter for my acting. I now need to get on that, I think, more regularly for this space.
Yeah. So we have a few more questions here. So any plans where NftyDreams has live events? Absolutely. We have an events guild whose sole purpose for existing is to organize IRL events, virtual events, augmented reality events. So right now we have at least a couple on tap. We are working on a huge event in Bombay to follow up on a Bangalore event. Am I
no,
regging?
he's fine.
Okay.
Are you regging?
That's fine.
And we are also working with a few galleries, both East Coast and West Coast, to try and organize some events in the very near future. So absolutely, we're going to do live events. And I saw a question here, which actually was a great here it is.
And while Nick finds it, I'm just going to throw out there, put Nick on the spot. I think we need to have a NFT London event because I'm going to be speaking on behalf of NftyDreams NFT London.
Yes.
First weekend November.
Yay!
November 3rd and 4th, right?
Yes, exactly. So I hope to see everybody in London.
Amazing.
NftyDreams will have a presence there, and we hope to have a presence at every big conference.
Yes.
Yeah, so we are going to need to have you team up with Tanmay, who is a huge supporter of ours and who's also in there, and he wants to get us going with some galleries there and things like that. So that's perfect. I think it'll be great to have a community meetup and just do some amazing things in London. Maybe we can just take over the Tower Bridge or something like that. I don't know.
That would be awesome.
What's even more perfect is I was first introduced to Tanmay in the space that I host with Marianne. And after I saw his visuals, I loved it so much. I contacted him and I said, can we use these visuals for a video shoot, an NFT video shoot I have coming up? So we actually used Tanmay's visuals on a projection on me with this incredible videographer in New York. So maybe we can showcase that work at NFT London.
Wow.
Yeah, that'd be great.
That's incredible.
All right, it's about an hour here, so we need to bring things back to where we started, which was talking about our big feature, a big benefit for dreamers next week. We are having a Marketing 101 class, exactly like Jenny talked about. A Marketing 101 would be a great class for the DAO to offer, and that's exactly what we're doing next week as an exclusive, early, first benefit for dreamers. So we need you to go and mint that Dreamer Pass if you haven't already done that. So let's get that banner up. There we go. Cool. I think we are seeing the movement. It's moving faster now. People are getting their Dreamer NFTs. I'm very excited about that. We need to get the artists, the 5,000 or so artists who've signed up for the pre-mint but haven't yet minted. Get that message out to them that they actually need to go and mint an NFT before.
It's not enough just to sign up to the form.
You can't just fill out a form and get it. You gotta connect your wallet and you gotta pay for it and you gotta get it. So hopefully that message will get out. So I think Yumi, thank you again for being here. I'm gonna let Addie have the last word here to wrap things up.
Thank you so much.
Thank you guys all for coming and joining us. Thank you for the amazing comments, the incredible discussions, incredible speakers. As you can tell, Nick just has his heart in this community and is bringing on the most incredible advisors possible. I'm sure that you guys learned so much, even just Yumi talking about the email list. That's important. Take notes. You guys need to have notes every time these people talk. They are amazing. And thank you for being here with us today. So every Wednesday at 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, 4 p.m. Universal Time, we have our DAO Townhall meetings, and they will be structured like this. And please mark in your calendars about the artist workshop next week for all things marketing. So thank you all so much, and have a beautiful Wednesday.
And Eddie, I want to thank Kelly because it should not go unspoken that Kelly is reaching deep down into every nook and cranny of every contact book she has and bringing to us amazing people like Yumi, etc. So credit
Yes.
where credit is due.
Kelly.
Kelly is a connector. She's a super connector, actually, I feel.
Yes, she
And
is.
I'm really, really grateful to have her and her cat. Let's not forget that.
Her
So
assistant.
we cannot have this go by without the cat. There you
Yeah,
go.
I have my sidekick that's giving me magical powers to
Yeah.
elevate everything.
Aww.
Three,
They
so
are.
yeah.
They are.
And I've been in this space for a year and a half, which most people have, since the OG Clubhouse days. And it's nice to be able to finally bring people together because I've just been collecting these amazing contacts and friendships. And I just want to help amplify each other and bring each other up, because what do you always say, Nick? If you want to go fast, go alone. Wait, yes.
Yeah. If you want to go fast, go solo. But if you want to go far, go together.
Good together.
Yeah,
I agree.
Yeah. So speaking of together, we need to start planning a SoCal event because we got multiple advisors there. We got gallery, we got friends. We got to do that. So
I'm down. Let me know. We'll
yeah,
totally
absolutely.
be down to do that.
Cool. All right, let's sign off then. Everyone, dream on.
Thank you
Dream
so much.
big.
You guys have
Bye. Have a good day. Bye.
Bye.
Ciao.